What's different, Pete, about the 69 that makes it so exciting to you?
2,000 people in a seething, roaring, shouting mass.
All the people I know are musicians. I revolve around music. That's all I know.
Hi, today we are going to do magazine art. There's an existing background. If you're interested in how I did the background, there's a link below this video to find that. What I did is I pre-cut out those magazine parts, the cake and the words, and I used matte medium to put it down. Now that is going to give you a little transparency and buckling. If you don't want to do that, a good old-fashioned glue stick is perfect on a dry surface. And what I'm doing is I'm going over it. Now you'll see I just put water on those, but it's oil-based Craypas, so I got a Q-tip to blend it. I forgot it was oil-based. And just blending that in there and doing lots of layers with the oil Craypas. And that's a pastel I'm putting over the top, give it a little bit more depth. Just trying to make the cake look delicious and abstract and real at the same time, which is always fun. That's what's great about the magazine. You're working with existing shadowing. Again, that's the oil Craypas. I went around all the words and going around the one at the top just to give it a little bit more depth. And now I'm pulling out, I have these great colored pencils in metallic and in neon, and you'll see I just use those all over the place trying to give it more definition.
He's wearing bells with parents.
That's all she talks about. That's all she talks about. That's all she talks about. That's all she talks about.
Now you're going to see that I'm pulling out my acrylic. I like the cheap acrylic paints. I don't see the point of using the expensive ones when you're art journaling. They give you more vibrant color, but they dry sometimes a little heavy, and I feel like I have a little bit more freedom with the cheap ones. I just mixed a light pink with a darker pink for that, and just going in around that word to blend it in a little bit better. I used the paper towel when it was super wet so that you get a little bit more of a frosting look. Now right now I'm doing words on the side. I'm using my metallic pencils, and go ahead and watch it, but I do end up changing my mind at the end. I'm just going over the words with a pearlescent paint marker. I got these, I think it's an Elmer's, super cheap. And what I like about them is the pearlescent's kind of see-through, so you're still getting the picture underneath it a little bit. Now you can see that I defined it a little bit before. I used a black pen and a dark, cheap pink marker to define the cake and go around the outside. That's one of the things with the magazine stuff you really want to do, is to use your highlights and lowlights and use a dark color and a light color. Just using a chart marker, heavy duty, to outline these words since they're larger letters, just to give it a little bit more definition. And you can see that then I'm again going over the words on the side, even though I end up hating them. I'm doing some work on those so you can take a look. Yeah, I ended up really changing it.
He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's got a nice body. He's wearing velvet pants. He's wearing velvet pants.
Okay, so this is where I kind of go off the rails. I ended up really hating my lettering here. So I covered it up with paint, then I covered it up with magazines. Then I hated the magazines, and while they were still wet, I pulled them off. And then I covered it up with paint again. I got kind of a cool background on there. Used an oil Craypod to do these words, and then I outlined them with a paint marker and then the chart marker again. I'm not entirely happy with how this side turned out. I kind of feel like I should have stuck. This is one of those examples of too much is too much. I just did too much on the left hand side with all of those words and everything, so I ended up unhappy. But this is the final product. I'm very happy with the cake, which is really what this is all about, is taking those magazines and making them look like beautiful artwork on an art journal. If you're interested in more tutorials like this, take a look at my group called Wonderland. We do this all the time, and you can always find me at www.megboon.com.